Did you see those two weird people on YouTube the other day?
Those aren't weird people. That's Bubsy and the Beard.
Hello and welcome to the Caffeinated podcast, the show where positivity is the goal, but chaos is the process. And you heard right. For the first time in our podcast history, we're on YouTube. And today we're bringing...
Welcome. We just wanted to expand a little bit. Is that the word that you would use, Bubsy? Expand?
I feel like this was always part of the plan, but our plans are very elaborate to begin with, I would say.
Yeah. Guys, as you know, we're just being us. We're kind of being a little silly right now.
Our plans are as big as my head normally. It's great.
Oh, that's true. That's true. But enough about the head. Y'all don't need that story again. But we appreciate y'all coming back by. We appreciate you stopping by. And for those that you see us on YouTube for the very first time, let me say this just really quick. Bubsy and I have gotten together to put together something that we hope will make your day a little brighter, make your day a little bit easier. Perhaps it'll make you think a little bit, because our goal is to spread positivity. But yes, as you can see by what we've already done in the first couple of minutes, chaos is our process. Now, for those that haven't heard us before, seen us before, whatever you want to say, you can check out the podcast, because there's 4 other episodes already up. And Bubsy, help me try to remember where we are. We are on Anchor. We are on Google Podcast.
Basically
Breaker.
Basically anywhere you get your podcast. Normally, Apple Podcast, Spotify, or iTunes, what they used to call Apple Podcast, Google Podcasts, Anchor, Breaker, Radio. There's something I don't remember, but anywhere you normally get your podcasts, we're there.
Whatever your preferred platform is, it's a good chance that we may be there. But if not, we're going to try to come to you soon.
Now,
sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say the first few episodes, yes, we don't have video for them. This was kind of a growing process as we were going, but every episode from here on out will also be on YouTube. So if you want to catch our faces, even though I'm quite ugly and he has a beard, and it's definitely much better looking than the little goatee that I have, we're definitely going to be here, and you can at least see the facial expressions and possibly me staring deeply into his soul as I try to explain myself.
And before we get into today's title and we move on, I just want to say this for all of you that have listened to the podcast. And I know some of you may have listened to it more than once. I appreciate you. I thank you for all the listens, because earlier this week, we hadn't been on Apple Podcasts, and we got the news that all of a sudden there we were. So we appreciate the effort that you guys have put in. I appreciate all the feedback that we've gotten, and it's just been amazing. And we appreciate you. And I don't want to say that too many times, because it sounds like I don't know what I want to talk about, but that's not true. I'm overwhelmed a little bit. I'll be honest with you.
Well, and I was actually going to say, before we get into the topic, do we want to cover any current events that are kind of going on with us here recently, especially with, the auction coming up? Do you want to cover the auction? And we can also put some links in.
For any of you that may listen to this and follow me on TikTok, it is the Caffeinated Beard on TikTok. And you can follow me, you can find out, but myself and over 20 other creators on TikTok have gotten together, and on July the 22nd and July the 24th, we're holding an online live auction for 2 of our TikTok family members. One who's been in the hospital for over 9 months and had to have part of her leg amputated. Another one that just found out that their cousin has stage 4 liver cancer. So their expenses are going to be ginormous. Yeah. And we know that we can't alleviate all the expense. I mean, it would be great if the auction was that big a success. I mean, we would be just over the moon, right? But if we can take away some of the everyday worries, some bills that they don't have to think of, and they can take the time to focus on getting better, getting stronger, and fighting, then that's the goal. But that will be July 22nd and 24th, both of them 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you can stop in, you can bid on a few items, and I'm just going to tell you the biggest item that we have, and see if that'll entice you to come take a look. It is a 2017 Ford F-150 Quad Cad. It is decked out from top to bottom. It has a full light package. It has a lift kit on it. It is absolutely amazing. It is wrapped with Longhorn Paranormal's logo and stuff because that's what they used in their season 1 of their television show. And they have put it up there for us to be able to try to raise money for these 2 amazing families. So, and that's just one of the items. That's not all of the items.
I didn't
We've
realize
actually
it was
had
that
so many
decked
people,
out.
Bubsy, that wanted to help.
Yeah.
We're talking about doing another auction in another week because we've had more creators come in that want to help, and we just didn't have space for them in this one.
I didn't realize the truck was that decked out. That's actually sick, first of all. But yeah, this is for a great cause. We definitely want to help these people out. You know, where we try to make a good space for things here. We want to help people, whether or not that's, you know, them just listening or trying to understand communication wise, or, you know, making sure people get whatever help they need.
Absolutely.
So this is definitely one of our goals. One of the things we first discussed was if we ever get big, like, what charity are we trying to work with? And he just got the gracious opportunity to do something like this. So we definitely wanted to mention it. Please send me those links and I'll make sure they get in the YouTube videos. Are they in your link tree on TikTok in case someone's listening audio wise?
The link tree for the auction is not, but there are 3 different videos there promoting the auction. You get to see some of the items that are there. We also have, I mean, just for example, we have a USA Today celebrated author, Susan Tisdale. She writes Scottish romance novels and other things, not just that, but that's what she's more well known for. She's donating 2 autographed series. Yes, you heard me, not books, but 2 autographed series to be auctioned off. And guys, you know, you wonder about social media sometimes. I know I do. But she just happened to be on TikTok, saw a friend of mine's was live, went in to see what he was like, and heard about the auction and said, I have to be a part of this.
Nice.
So I hope you guys will all be a part of it as well. And if you don't have funds, I know how that is. But can I ask a little favor? Pray for the families and pray for the auction.
Yeah.
And if you're on TikTok, go to my page, share the videos. That's all I ask. And then you'll be as big a part of the blessing these families as anybody.
Yeah. And then other current events, I guess before we get like I said, fully into the topic, we're gonna go with the funny story of me talking with customer service. So I used to work customer service. I get that it can be difficult. You have to deal with people who are like, "Hi, I'm gonna be angry because I think that helps me get further in life."
Okay, I do have to do a public service announcement. If you are driving, please pull over and stop. This is hilarious, in my opinion. But just a warning, you may want to pull over because you may not. I'm just saying.
Or you know, tears, because I definitely cried when I heard this, but I actually had the beard in the room. I was on speakerphone. I had to use his phone actually to call because I've been without my phone since Tuesday of last week. Okay, today is the 17th. What day did I? Yeah, the 6th, I think. So I've not had a phone.
Like that, yeah.
Not had a phone since the 6th. So they sent me an updated invoice, said, here's how much you need to pay. There was a link that says, here's where you pay. I searched everywhere. Like,
it didn't work.
I'm the tech guy in the house, which is the scary part, and I couldn't find it. Okay? Like, people call me with questions. It scares me sometimes because I usually just Google it. That's how most people tech people are when they're the tech guy of the group. So I am searching over and over, can't find the place to pay. So the next day, because I don't have a phone, I have no way of taking phone calls, calling people. I get the beard. I'm like, hey, I need to borrow your phone. I need to call this company because they're working on my phone. I need to make sure this invoice gets paid, whatever. So I call, and I'm sitting there on an automated whatever. The guy finally answers, and I give him all my information. He's like, did you know you're out of warranty? I said, yes, it's in the email. I read that. Okay. Well, they had already done like the standard repair hold or whatever. I had already paid that. That had already gone back into my account. And he's like, well, you don't need to worry about that, because I had brought it up. And I said, yes, I know. I'm here to pay the new one. He's like, yeah. Oh, you're just moving the microphone? This is the first time we're looking at each other while we're doing this. So I'm like, yeah, I just want to pay this. What What's going on with my phone? I've not heard anything. I've been trying to pay this for a few days. What's going on? And he goes, yeah, I don't know why you're just now calling. Our technicians tried to call you yesterday and you didn't answer. And he, like, the way he said it was like, it was upsetting that I didn't
Hang on
answer.
just a second. For those of you that are not sure what you just heard, he said, yeah, I don't understand why you didn't get back to us. Our team tried to call you and we could not leave a message because your voicemail's not set up. All right, go ahead, Bubsy. I just had to make sure that was clear because I almost fell out of my chair. I ain't gonna lie when we heard it the other day.
So the beginning of this whole process, I had to mail my phone. Now it says in the instructions, leave the SIM card. You know, the thing that connects me to my carrier, allows me to take phone calls. Leave it in the device. It is in the device. He says the repair team tried to call me. And but the thing that like even shocked me more was the way he said it. He sounded like I was like severely in the wrong because I didn't answer. Like that was like the tone of voice that the guy had, and I was like, sir.
Yeah, it wasn't good, guys. It wasn't good at all.
I was like, sir, you have my phone and the SIM card. Like, I'm calling from someone else's device because you have the phone that you're trying to call.
Oh, I'm sorry. Then what did you want to do?
I want to pay my invoice. Oh,
okay, fine. Let me switch you to our automated pay.
Yes. No. He's like, let me switch you to our automated system to accept this payment. I'm like, I've been on the phone for, 15 minutes on hold just trying to talk to you. So you're going to put me back. So I make the payment, and then the automated system, instead of being like, oh yeah, here's our survey, it's like, we're going to get you back with a representative now to double check on your payment. And I'm like,
what? Yeah, it was a very confused and
I will say it's
discombobulated thing, guys.
The invoice is paid. Okay, I've seen it in my account. The money has left. But the process, the chaotic process, we're back to the title. That was the messed up part. Yeah, it was
more chaos than even we like, guys. That's the thing. It was more chaos than even him and I enjoy.
But we're looking at each other this whole time, and he's just like, you have the phone. So
that's crazy.
That is catching us up on the current events here. Yeah. As far as that, I think we should probably get into our main topic.
Yeah, we better get to it, or we're going to get behind. You hear us talk quite a bit on here about me being on TikTok, and Bubsy's on TikTok, and he's starting to build his account and stuff like that.
Check me out.
One of the terms that you hear on TikTok and other places is that person or this person is a troll. So just for before we get into it, today's title is Trolls, No Longer Under the Bridge. And if you know anything about the history of trolls, if you remember the fairy tales or whatever as a child, there was always that nasty, crazy, mean creature that lived under a bridge. And if you tried to get by and you couldn't answer his question, then he would eat you.
Question.
Go ahead.
Where are they at if they're not under the bridge?
They're hiding behind their keyboards
in Mama's basement.
Bridge boards. So Bubsy and I talked about it a little bit, and he has a little different view on it. And I do understand where he's coming from, but quite frankly, at my age, I don't really accept his definition. And he's not real sure that my definition is 100% accurate either. So what I want to do, Bubsy, is I want to just give them a little synopsis of what we have, just kind of give them the outline. And then you and I are just going to jump in and talk about it and hit the points as they come. Okay?
Yeah, I like that. And I will say, to preface this is probably one of the topics we've disagreed about the most, even though it's not like the most serious of topics.
No, it's not like we're mad rolling around the floor beating each other with shoes and stuff like that kind of thing,
But we are definitely like, he sees one side, I see another. But that's what I think makes this interesting, is we are getting
Let
to
me move this
discuss
just
that.
a little bit so I can sit up, guys. All right. All right. Number one of the things that we're going to do, this is just our outline, and I want to share it with you, and you'll hear us kind of hit them again as we go. Number one, trolling. What is it, or what it was, what it's become? All right.
Yeah.
Trolling. What's the point? Why? That's the question. I'm not going to lie that I ask repeatedly on TikTok. Why? Okay. The next one is trolls. Are they edgy? Are they funny? Or are they just bullies? And because we knew that this might get a little bit deep, maybe a little bit heated, we also wanted to throw in something just to kind of break it up. So we're going to talk about a couple of things on internet slang. Bubsy's got some words he wants to share. I actually found some stories that had to do with internet slang that I think I'll throw one of those in there or something just to kind of ease it up a little bit. And last but not least, guys, is how do you handle the troll? You know, at some point you're going to have to cross that bridge, right? That's all I'm going to say.
I see what you did there.
You see what I did there?
I see
All
what
right,
you
Bubsy,
did
here's what
there.
I want to do. And
Okay.
since your definition is different than mine, I think yours kind of comes from what it was, and mine is kind of more from what it's become. So why don't you try to break down your definition just a little bit, and then we'll go from there.
So, and this was kind of where we originally, I think we kind of disconnected originally.
Yeah, we kind of separated.
Yeah, we were talking about the podcast. We're all together. We're like, yeah, we're going to do the podcast. It's going to be great. And then we hit a fork in the road and it was like, So I came from the generation where trolling kind of became a big hit. Okay. It was all over the internet. It was what was funny at the time. If anybody remembers old COD lobbies, starting at about COD 4 up to, of course, I quit playing COD right about Black Ops 2, but that's some span of years, okay? Span of years. There have always been trolling, okay? And that's kind of what I grew up watching, whatever. I found it enjoyable. I found it great. But there were times where trolling goes too far. Now, what I mean by trolling is it goes beyond just pranking somebody. Like it is an extended setup. I believe that we were talking about like the actual definition. It's something that gives you a knee-jerk reaction. So
I've got the definition pulled up. Would you like me to share what I have?
Yes, please.
Okay, it says an internet troll, or simply troll in internet slang, is someone who posts controversial, inflammatory, irrelevant, or off-topic messages in an online community, such as an online discussion forum or chat room, with primary intent of provoking other users into an emotional response or to generally disrupt normal on-topic discussion. And that's kind of what it is to a point. So,
yeah,
what do you think of that definition?
I think that is very true. Very true. Now I do think, because here was the point that we disagreed upon. I think trolling is funny to an extent. Okay, and the trolls that, at least that he has described to me, and that I've seen in like TikTok chats and things like that, I don't personally consider that trolling. But it may be that the terminology is trying to cover too large of a range. I think trolling has to be well done to be considered trolling. Any more than that, you're just being a butthole. You're just being rude. You're just being indecent. Everything like that. It's the same thing with a comedian. Like if you go to a good comedian, the comedian is literally writing a line where they're saying like things that most people would consider outlandish, but the joke is hitting. Like if a comedian goes over that line, everyone disconnects from the show. They're like, okay, that guy's who was it? Was it Seinfeld who tried to do that racist joke? I think it was, and it just bombed. Like, and people like started thinking he was really racist, but he was trying to hit a joke and it was not hitting. And I mean, they kind of ruined his career. I think if that's the correct one I'm thinking about, I might have to double check on that.
Well, so let me do this. So what I hear you saying is this. that trolling is meant to be humorous. It's meant to be fun,
Yes.
and it's meant, it's meant to be a joke-ish, if not a joke, right?
Yeah.
Am I understanding what you're saying correctly?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, and that may have originally that may have been what it was, but you've been in my lives, maybe not so much when the trolls are coming through, and the different things, but what it has become, in my opinion, and I just share it here, and we'll talk about it some more. In my opinion, it has become a way for a person or a group of people to try to bully somebody to get what they want. They want you to say a certain thing. They want you to act a certain way. They want you to do a certain thing. And if you won't agree with what they're throwing out there, then they want to disrupt everything that you're trying to do so that you can't do it. That's what trolling has become to me.
See, but when that happens, that just makes that doesn't. I don't think of that as trolling. I think that's either just someone who, first of all, if they think that's trolling, they're really terrible trolls. Second, they sound like a man child who throws a tantrum the second they don't get what they want. Like, grow up, please. Third of all, like, if you hit the joke, great. You catch somebody like the what was it? The Candace jokes. Like, those were funny. Maybe the first time. It's like a dad.
They were funny-ish.
Like, it's those type of jokes have become like what dad jokes are. Like, dad jokes are funny maybe once, but after that you're like, yes, dad, ha 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 ha. It's the same thing.
There's no such thing as a dad joke that does not need to be repeated often. I'm just saying.
You sure about that? Like, I think you're personally funny. That's why I started you, like, pushing for you to do TikTok. I think you're funny. But you also don't go. You don't hit dad jokes that often. Like, when you do, I'm like, thanks, Dad. Love you.
It has to be a good dad joke, though. I mean, I like good dad jokes. I ain't gonna lie. But
it's like, Dad, or what you used to hit me with, like, Dad, I'm hungry. Hi, hungry. I'm Dad. Yeah. No.
Constantly.
I get it. I get it. Haha. I used the wrong terminology.
My leg hurts. Does your face hurt? Because it's killing me.
or it's like the teachers, like when the teachers try to the troll, like, can I go to the bathroom? I don't know. Can you? Like, yes, I'm gonna go pee in your fake ficus if you don't let me use the restroom.
But do you see what you also got to see what Bubsy's saying there as well? We don't just troll on the internet. I think it's more prominent on the internet, because one of the things that we said we were going to talk about is what's the point? And that's kind of in his definition and mine. Yeah. His definition is that it's supposed to be funny. It's supposed to be a little bit edgy or whatever. And again, we get it. Sometimes any joke coming from any person is not going to hit properly. It's going to offend. It's going to make somebody mad.
Yeah.
But at that point, here comes the why of trolling. What's the point? If you know that it's not working, then why continue to do it? Why continue to push the issue? Because for me, then it becomes about you trying to push your agenda over what I'm trying to do and what I'm trying to accomplish, which I'm going to tell you right now falls into the realm of bullying for me.
Right. And we discussed this, what was it, just earlier today, where it's like, and the same thing with recognizing when a joke has gone too far. If you don't stop, if you don't address the issue, like I said, I think trolling's funny, and I grew up, being a troll, or troll, but like, that's missing with my friends. Like, we do extended bits for like 30 minutes, but when those go too far, when someone actually gets like physically and emotionally angry to the point where, all rationale is gone, you've taken that too far. You need to handle that situation. The problem with modern day trolls, the problem with modern day trolls is they don't do that. They just keep pushing the envelope.
But you bring up a good point. Even if your intention is fun, at what point does it become the other?
Yeah.
I mean, what does the person you're trolling have to do before you realize that what you consider fun, them and maybe everybody else does not, and it's time for you to move on? You see what I'm saying?
Well, and that's where like the point of like, okay, all rationale's gone here. Like it's literally just gone into like endless bickering because of what was going on. Like I've had I've had friends who just get incredibly angry with like I was trying to make a joke, but that it doesn't matter at that point. You're actually hurting them. You're not joking around with them. You're not kidding.
Exactly.
Instead of laughing with them, which was the point, or in like with some trolling, yes, like you take a focal point, but that's the same thing as like taking jabs at your friends. Like, yeah, you're all joking about a certain thing, but if you take it too far, it goes past being like, haha, I'm poking fun at my friend because we do that. We're good buddies. It goes to the point of like, haha, I'm making fun of him. Look at this, haha, he's stupid.
Well, we
That's
all
what.
do that, but it's the same. It's the same principle, like you and I were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
There comes a point when that separation happens.
Right.
You know, it's no longer humorous. It's like you said, hurtful. You know, and that
Yeah.
also that just brings me back to the why of TikTok. I mean, you know, well, the why of trolling. I have TikTok on my mind because I'm thinking about a couple of friends that I help mod for on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
And the one lady, she's super sweet. She's got a heart as big as Texas. She wants to help. And she is one of the creators that's helping with the auction that we talked about a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
But the other day I was in trying to help her, and she had 3,000 people in her TikTok live.
I can't even
And
imagine.
most of them were just going on and on. And I'm not doing politics, guys, but she is an American woman. She loves her country. She is a first responder. She, you know, she supports all those. And, you know, it's just stupid comments as well. You know, Trump lost over and over again. Or can you, you know, did you hear about, you know, like you said, Candace or whatever it is? It's not about accomplishing anything other than disrupting what she's wanting to do and hanging out with the people that she wanted to hang out with live.
Yeah.
And letting them come and talk to her and her to them. You know, because let's be honest, that's one of the great things about TikTok. You don't have to hang out with people on TikTok that you don't like. If you
Right.
don't like where you're at, it's one little swipe and you're gone.
Well, I think
Apparently
someone's
your mother's
home.
home.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But I actually see there actually is a terminology that was used a lot with trolling, at least in the videos or internet days that I used to watch, and it was called griefing. Okay, trolling, like I said, you know, we've already gone over the definition, but griefing basically was you were destroying something someone had done or tearing down what they were trying to do or disrupting whatever the goal was that you're trying to achieve. And I take this from a video game sense because that's what I am. That's what I do. All my TikToks are about video games that I'm playing with my friends. Blah 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 blah. The fun times that we're having. That's the same thing with for my YouTube videos. That's where I come from. So griefing is either tearing down what's been built, say if it's whatever game, or distracting from the objective. You're tearing away the point of the game and turning it into something else because you want to do it. That's what I would consider griefing, and I think that's what more people are trying to push towards. And
well, and I understand what you're saying. The problem that I have is if we go back to the why of it in today's culture.
Mhm.
You know, you all hear me talk about this a lot because I'm just going to say it. Y'all can see my face. You can look into my eyes. Okay. I am so sick of divisiveness everywhere. In the news, on the radio, in politics, in families. This country is, in my humble opinion, being pulled apart from the inside out. And you've got people who seem to want to make it their job, their mission, to further that divide instead of trying to find a way to bring people together. You know, again, I'm not saying that you go into a room or anything online and you have to agree with everything the person says. If you don't, move on and find people that you agree with if that's what you're looking for.
Right.
You know,
well, I mean,
but don't try to destroy something because you don't agree with it. I guess that's what I'm getting at.
Right. Definitely. And I mean, that's the thing with this podcast. We're of varying generations. I was going to say age, but that might have been considered rude. We are,
No, look at the gray. It's age.
but and beauty, you know.
I'm not going to say it. I'm going to be quiet. I
But
almost said it, but I'm not going to say it.
so we have differing opinions, but that's the whole purpose of this podcast is we're trying to bridge the gap. We're not trying to create a gap. And that's the whole reason we made this podcast is we feel like this is a way to do that. Whereas a lot of people right now are like, yeah, let's burn our bridges. Woo!
I know, right?
Yeah.
And you know, people think, well, of course you all have to agree. You live in the same house, your family.
No.
Man, I'm going to tell you right now,
Bro.
you don't know nothing about this family if that's what you think.
Oh my gosh.
If we don't agree, we don't agree.
And
now, in the end, at the end of the day, are we still family? Yes.
Yeah.
But that's just like all this other stuff that we're talking about with the trolls. And Bubsy, we're going to get to this. Are they edgy? Are they funny? Or are they just bullies? All right. And I think we've kind of hit it a little bit. I think sometimes they think that they're edgy, they're funny. I personally think they're just bullies. That's on me. That's my opinion. That's not his. But the problem is this. If you come into, and you're welcome to come into any of my lives when I'm on TikTok, anybody is, and you want to talk respectfully and you ask respectful questions, we're going to have a decent conversation. But if you come in with something, and yes, I have to say it this way, if you come in with something and just blurt something out, which in my opinion is meant to divide instead of bring people together, we can't have a conversation. You know, I'm old fashioned. All right. I was raised by my grandmother. I was raised not around kids my own age. So, and I'm going to use the internet as an example. If I walk into a room that I've never been in before, the first thing I'm going to do is say hello. And I might introduce myself just a little bit. Then if I have a question, I'm going to ask a question. But if you come into a room and you throw something out to quote unquote troll, just to get a knee-jerk reaction, and again, that's what the definition said, right? Was to get a knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah.
And try to get a rise out of somebody. You don't normally get a rise out of me unless you disrespect the military, first responders, all those people that put their lives on the line for you. That will yeah, I mean, and I know that probably if anybody of them here, I'm going to get trolls because of this.
And the beard. Don't talk about the beard.
You can disrespect the beard over you can the people that serve us. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's almost like, because you may not agree with what they do. You may not agree with how they do it. And before anybody says it, well, don't you think there needs to be reform in the police departments and all? Yes, of course there is. There needs to be constant reform. There always has to be constant growing and constant learning. And Bubby, you know as well as I do, I think a lot of times the people that come in and do this, you and I have talked about this, they think they're being edgy, they think they're being funny, they're following the crowd, but they're sharing a blurb. They're sharing a headline that they think will get a reaction. Well, but they don't have the knowledge or the experience to back that headline up.
Right. Well, and the thing that I don't think a lot of people realize is everything that we're seeing online is curated snippets of life. It is not an exact 1-to-1 ratio depiction of life. Okay.
If you watch the news in any shape, form, or fashion,
well, I mean, it's
and
the same.
Don't do the research yourself. They're trying to point you in a certain direction.
Right. There's bias in everything. You're the biggest TikTok creators. You're not seeing who they are behind the camera. They're probably slightly different than what you think they are. That's because you're seeing curated snippets of who they are. It's the same thing with the news. It's the same thing about whatever. Now, will I say that, you know, TikTok and things like that, like, they're great. Like, there's a lot of information, you get a lot of entertainment, there's a lot of content to be consumed, but you're not seeing everything. And the same thing goes for like the news or things about police and things like that. Like you're seeing a lot of outliers. You're seeing a bunch of like really highs and a lot of lows, but you're not seeing the everyday day-to-day life of people.
Well, let's put it into example. For those of you that don't know, if you can't tell by the flag behind me, I am former law enforcement. I worked in corrections for over 14 years. So you would think I have a soft spot for police officers and law enforcement officers. And you'd be correct. But because I work that doesn't mean that's the only thing that I am. But I have people come in all the time and they do the little ACAB, ACAB. All right. All cops are, and I'm not going to say the word. I'm just not going to do it. All right. There's people coming in making assumptions, or they're trying to make assumptions on what they think, but we're not taking the time to get to know each other. So to me, again, it doesn't come off as edgy. It doesn't come off as funny. And maybe I'm too old fashioned. Maybe that's part of the problem. But it comes off as if Bubsy was doing it, if he was being a troll and he was trying to convince me or push me into a way, or push me into saying something that I wouldn't normally say, or to agree with something that I wouldn't normally agree with, Bubsy, help me out. How is that edgy or funny? That's just doing what the media is trying to do right now and force you to say things that you may not believe in. I'm sorry, it's the same thing.
Well, and to be honest, like people who just come in and start asking questions, like I said, when this is part of where we disagree, I don't consider those trolls. Okay. And that may be because, either my definition is outdated or,
or I'm outdated,
or there's not a proper word for what we're talking about. So that's the terminology that gets used. But part of the problem is people are not wanting to generate connections with people. Okay. So they're going to come in, they're going to ask their question. If they don't agree, or if they don't get the response they want, they're going to raise a stink about it because this is their life, their TikTok, whatever. Even though it's someone else's, it's the same thing. Everybody has their own thing, but you're trying to direct it in the way that they think it should be when they don't have that opinion. So they're going to blow up about it. I don't think that's trolling.
Well, again,
like I said earlier, I think it's people being man-childs because they're not getting what they want. I don't know if that's the proper terminology, but I don't think that's trolling.
Is probably not what keyboard warrior is, because let's be honest.
Yes, because
most of the stuff they say online, they would never. And let me repeat it. Y'all could again look into my eyes. If somebody wants to troll the YouTube video, you would never say that to my face.
9 out of 10 people. The 1 out of 10. The 1 out of 10 are probably comedians, and it might actually be funny. But 9 out of 10. Usually not.
And I guess on the other hand, since we're talking about it this way, let's do this. What does my opinion about what you support matter?
It really doesn't. And I don't get.
But you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't get why
somebody
people
comes
are
into a room and they will, do you support this or that? My general answer is, well, first off, what does that matter whether I support you or not? If you support it, more power to you.
Yeah.
Right. And then the other answer is I support all good people. That's the second thing I tell them. I support good people. I try. And let's be honest, in my history, I've supported a lot of bad ones as well and tried to lift people up. I've always done that. And this may be, like I said, this is kind of, I knew what this was going to be. That's the reason we're going to do some of the internet slang. We're going to break it up a little bit. And then we're going to talk a little bit on how to handle a troll. And this is just the way I handle it. Maybe the way Bubsy handles it. It may not be the way the experts say handle it, but we're just going to talk about it a little bit because we've already said it. They want to get a reaction out of you. And if you get angry and too awful upset, and everybody's going to from time to time, the trolls, the griefers, the mama's boys, the keyboard warriors, whatever name you want to come up with, they win, and they're going to sit in their dark little damp basement somewhere and go, look what I did. And the sad part about it is, it will just encourage them and strengthen them to do it again to somebody else.
Yeah.
It's just like a bully when you were in school. If a bully doesn't get stood up to, if a bully doesn't somehow get put in his place or her place for that matter, because I did know some girl bullies, man, they would whoop your hind end. Just saying.
There's some fights in high school.
It just encourages them to do it to somebody else. And you're going to get mad. You're going to lose your temper every once in a while, and that's fine. I think the biggest part, Bubsy, before we go into the slang and all that, that I want to get across, at least from my part. And I appreciate the fact, honestly, it's more entertaining for me when we don't agree.
Yeah, that was the whole thing.
Because
When we
he's my kid. He may be pretty like his mama, but he's got my personality. So when we bump heads, y'all, can y'all see this on the camera?
yeah.
Yeah, we bump
Well, it's,
heads.
actually, it's probably more like playing Bloody Knuckles. It's like
Kind of, sort of.
so.
But I've always had. Hang on, give me just
yeah.
1 sec. All right.
No.
I've always had an issue, and you can call it a rebellious nature. You can call it what you want. But I've always had an issue when someone, or when I feel like someone is trying to force me to do something that I don't agree with. So it gets my hackles up a little bit. My blood starts to boil, and it takes a lot to be calm. But that's where I want to stop. That I don't deal well with bullies. I was bullied most of my childhood. And I think that's the reason that I have such a hard time when I see people, and I don't care if you're 12, I don't care if you're 32, if you're going into somebody's stuff and you're trying to make them feel bad, look bad, or force them to think the way you do, you're a bully. Plain and simple for me. You're a bully. I'll stop calling you trolls. You're a bully.
Yeah.
And that's where I'll go with that. Go ahead, Bubsy.
Well, and that was the whole thing when we sat down. What was it? Because we put up the last podcast. We recorded it Saturday last week.
Last week. Yeah.
So, as we are the Caffeinated podcast, we were at the coffee pot talking about what was going to be the next topic, and we had thought about trolls. We had been putting it off. We didn't know how we wanted to do it, and we had finally kind of gotten to the point where we're like, okay, I see where we want to take this. Let's do it. And we started talking about it, and we immediately started bumping heads. And I was like, okay, we have to stop talking about this now. You get your notes, I'll get mine. And we were like,
let's be honest. Do you think either one of us actually made notes?
No. But here's also the thing. We also didn't stop talking about it. We kept arguing our points throughout the week. And I was like, yep, this is going to be a good one.
Yeah. And,
So,
and that's the thing, because in a certain part of the definition, Bubsy, what we were trying to do to each other would be considered trolling.
oh, yeah.
Because we weren't we wouldn't let each other finish a point, before we interrupted with our point or a counterpoint, however you want to say it.
I mean, I'm good at my job, so.
But we still managed to come together. And even though there are things about this that we are separated, there are also things about this that we are very much aligned. Because, guys, I'm 55. I ain't afraid to tell you. The gray hair shows it. I don't care. But bullying in any shape, form, or fashion doesn't set with me. Mm-hmm. You don't get the right to come into my life and force anything on me that I don't agree with. Yeah. And I know we're going to, because of what this, I know, Bubsy, I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that because of what this one, the first one we're going to put on YouTube is about, it's going to be troll. Oh, good job, troll.
Well, you know what I'm saying? Here's the thing. It's a good thing we know how to deal with them. Okay.
Well,
that's why we're going to cover it.
We need to lighten it up just a little. I need a giggle. I need a laugh, because, guys, if you all haven't figured it out by looking at my face, and I do, yes, I talk with my hands. Y'all, this is the first time you're seeing that. If y'all handcuff me, I would stutter. There's no way I can talk at all. I mean, it's just part of who I am.
Yeah.
But this is the cool part about this is everybody's going to have a different way. There may be some criteria out there with how to deal with trolls on a regular basis. But just like any other issue that comes up in your life, let me say this. You need to find a way to deal with it that works for you. Something that keeps you from losing your mind, something that keeps you strong, and just be you. All right?
Yeah.
So, Bubsy, I know you got some.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Like I told you, I had some stories that I want to share, but
I was gonna start with some just like a really just entry level, and then we'll go kind of up from there. Okay,
no, go where you want to go, man. Go for it.
Well, as we all know, I think we all know, or may not know, what a noob is. A newbie. Now, that always hasn't been an internet term.
Ain't that the thing on the TV that you use to turn up the volume? Oh, wait a minute. That's the old TVs, right?
You you really want to go there? You mean it?
I love being able to see your face. He's like, what?
No, that's one of those like dad moments where I'm like, yes, dad.
Dad
That's
jokes for the win. Yes.
I can see it now. That's the first TikTok.
The noob.
The
Turn
noob.
them up. No, just.
So and what I was saying is a newbie, which is the full version. I don't think that's always been an internet term, but obviously it's someone who is inexperienced in a particular sphere or activity. So like, online, they're a noob online. Like most people, like as far as like today, take it modern age, they're not tech savvy. I would consider them a noob. Although that sometimes is a derogatory term, so I shall not call people noobs.
Yeah.
Unless, we're playing in COD and I beat you because I'm good at things sometimes.
I got you.
So you said you had stories. Do you want to go? You want me to keep with more words, or do you want to do a story?
No, go ahead and do a couple more. Do a couple more words.
Okay, I've got two more. One is called a Care Bear.
Oh, what?
A Care Bear. Okay, so
I don't think I've ever heard that one, dude.
Yeah, this is a very interesting one. I heard it probably my freshman year of high school. So it was kind of a more recent addition that at least I had to my
Well, I mean,
dictionary.
in full disclosure, I have seen the Care Bears, but I've never heard it used as internet slang.
Yes, it is a derogatory term in reference to someone who actively avoids PvP or any type of damage in a game where there is player versus player action. So basically,
Care Bear.
Yes, that is a Care Bear. They actively run from person versus person interactions.
Gotcha.
That is a Care Bear.
I know a lot of people that would be Care Bears in the real world then.
Yeah, that's definitely like the flight response for fight or flight.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
Yeah. But like, no, but here's the thing, like, even when they like are forced to fight, they'll like just disconnect from the game entirely. Like, that's how much of a Care Bear we're talking.
Yeah, I've got just a couple of little what they call examples.
Yeah, and then I have one more, so let's do a couple of examples, so we'll finish with this one.
All right. Well, this is just examples of text messages where people are trying to use, the slang, right?
Oh,
the slang. Boy, did I sound old when I said that. Wow.
I mean, you are, so.
But this one is a text message between a mom and her son. Well, they both are, actually. The first one, and I'll just give you the word, most everybody who owns a phone of any kind or has a computer, laptop, whatever, knows what LOL means, right?
We would hope.
Okay, so this one is Mom. It says for Mom, your great aunt passed away, LOL. Peter goes, why is that funny? Mom is like, it's not funny, Peter. What do you mean? Mom, LOL means laughing out loud. Oh my goodness. I sent that to everyone. I thought it meant lots of love. I have to call everyone back. Oh God. So if you don't know,
Google it.
Yeah,
please.
Oh, and I actually found there's another one here too that you might like.
Yeah, hit me with it.
The second example, well, I've got two more, and then I'll let you do your last word, and then we'll move on to the rest of it. This one says, Mom, the road is a little icy out today. Be careful when you drive. The son says, I will. Mom says, YOLO. The son says, it's usually not meant as a warning, Mom. Sorry, but that tweaks my dad joke heart. I'm just saying.
It's tweaking my dad jokes.
Yeah, I like it. All right, last one. And like I said, I just wanted to laugh a little bit, and I know everybody else needed to laugh a little bit.
Yeah. You got one more?
Internet's is this. It says, son goes, Mom, I got a 94 on my math exam.
Lucky.
Mom goes, what the F, honey? The son goes, Mom, what do you mean? What do you think what the F means? She goes, well, that's fantastic. He's like, no, Mom. No, Mom.
Nope, not at all.
In this situation, guys, whatever the word is, whatever the internet slang happens to be, whatever the case, Bubsy said it kind of like in passing really fast, but the internet, the Google, if you want to call it that way, is your friend.
Is a vast resource that not many people use.
Yeah, you can, we said it in the last podcast. If anybody listened to it, and you did, and I appreciate that. There were quite a few. Bubsy and I were humbled and shocked by the amount of response that we've had on the podcast so far.
Yes,
but the internet gives you access to a lot of information. You have the ability to find out things that it would have took you hours, sometimes days to find out. Now you got it in a matter of minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to slang, before you let it fly, in whatever means necessary, make sure you know what you're saying.
Please. Please.
Because
or
will
don't
it be funny when it ends up on the internet? Absolutely.
Like I said, or don't. We'll laugh at it. It'll be fine. Okay? If you are okay with me laughing at you, don't look it up. Okay?
Nah, but that's the thing, guys. There's so many things going on in most people's lives that Bubsy's right. Some won't take the time. And right before we get to handling the trolls, I want to say this. And I've thanked him a couple of times already, but he can see my face, and I want to do it for the podcast so that you guys can hear it as well. Bubsy got me making TikToks. Bubsy got me putting myself out there. What he doesn't understand, and maybe he does more so than I think, is that brain-wise, I was not in a really good headspace when I started that. But it's helped, And that's another reason that I think, for me, before we get into Hamlet, just do this, just to bring it back a little bit chill. That's another reason that people coming in and trying to take over what we're attempting to do bothers me so bad. Because we have the ability to help people. And if we only help one, guess what, Bubsy? We succeeded. Right? All right. And Mom's back home again.
Man, that dog is loud.
Honest, real, unedited. That's our home. Our wireless alarm system, known as our dogs, are incredibly loud. Well, so Bubsy, let's do this.
Well, the thing is, the one barking is scared of her own shadow. Like,
I know, right? Yeah, she barks at a leaf floating across the thing. Let me all right. Since we're trying to lighten it up a little bit, anyway, let me tell you all a story. Okay. In our living room, across from my chair, we have a couch. In the window behind the couch is an air conditioner. The dog that acts like she's so tough and going to beat up everybody and protect us from everything was laying on top of the couch in front of the air conditioner, right? It's not like the air conditioner doesn't run all the time. But all of a sudden, the air conditioner kicked on. She freaked out. She went and fell. And, every little noise, she barks. Every little noise, she freaks out. I mean, honestly and truthfully, if you've been on TikTok and you've seen those videos, what would you do if I broke into your house?
Oh, Big Mike.
She would show you where everything is hidden and help you carry it to your car. That's all I'm saying. Yes. All right, Bubsy. What's some advice that...
We do have one more term I want to go over.
Because, I'm sorry. I forgot. Yeah. See, guys, I got a little bit...
Well, so this terminology I use, okay, it actually comes from a more competitive environment. Not many people knew, but I tried to play competitive TF2 for a number of years.
And he did very well.
I got semi-successful. I got to right before the highest level in ESEA. The way TF2 was ran, there was open, intermediate, and invite. I played a couple seasons in intermediate, was moving up, but had some issues and had to stop playing. And sadly, I haven't gotten to play more competitive TF2. I still have friends from that day that I have met. I've met them in person, went to LAN, played games with them there. Probably one of my greatest memories of my short life so far. So obviously the internet can be a great place, but
Absolutely.
there's a terminology of tilt or being tilted. And the reason I wanted to bring this up specifically, especially when dealing with trolls, is that is what happens if you let a troll win. You would technically be tilted. Okay. What tilted means is that you
Like
are. No, tilted means that you are so frustrated to a point that you start making mistakes. And in a competitive game environment, or I mean, competitive in anything, if you ever get tilted, it then makes you you're not processing things the way you should be. You're not making the correct decisions at the correct time. So like in playing video games, like instead of doing the action you'll do 9 times out of 10, you're tilted, you'll make the incorrect option and it'll be worse.
So basically what you're saying is tilted gets you out of your head so much that you're not in control anymore.
Right. Like and
Okay.
that's what in
Right.
in your case, if you let trolls win, you're tilted. You are no longer in your right mind.
Okay.
Things like that. That's the one reason I wanted to bring it up. But you know, I've experienced tilt. You know, there have been times when I'm playing competitively where something happens, something didn't go our way, and I would, you know, what we would say is we would get tilted. And every mistake that you made after you get tilted just tilts you more. And you get more upset. You get more frustrated. You make more mistakes. I mean, it stacks and it stacks and it stacks to the point like I've seen teams, like competitive teams, people who came together to like compete together, have literally fallen apart over people tilting that hard. Like I've seen it. I've seen it. I've been a part of it. I know it happens. But that's one reason, like when we're about to go into like what to do when you're facing a troll, don't lose your head. That's the first rule. First rule.
That would be but let's be honest, right?
Mhm.
That's sometimes easier said
Then
than
done. Yes.
Because you know, if you're listening to this, if you made it this far, then you know everybody's got buttons.
Mhm.
Everybody's got certain things that no matter how in control I am and how proper I may be,
and how good my beard
button.
looks.
Somebody's going to push that button and I'm going to go redneck on your hind end. Right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to happen. So knowing that is probably going to happen, Bubsy, how would you deal with a troll?
So
to try to keep in control of yourself, not control them, mind you, but control yourself.
well, first thing, there's always the one thing, especially with like bullies, where it's always like walk away, remove thyself from whatever, you know, what's going on. And with like TikTok, like mute the person, block them, kick them out of the live, remove the comment. Like you don't have to deal with it. I mean, you have the ability, you have the thing to do that. You don't have to respond. Honestly, responding in a lot of cases will just get them to come back more.
Okay.
So that would be my first thing.
Okay.
Do you what would you consider? What would be the one thing you would do?
The best way that I can say it is this.
Mm-hmm.
And Bubsy's heard me use this terminology before in different circumstances. But for me, it's about preparing what I'm going to say, what I'm going to do before the action happens.
Mm-hmm.
So that if it is something that pushes my button and causes that knee-jerk tilt, right? Tilt.
Oh no, I've created a monster.
I am ready with my response or whatever I'm going to do.
Right.
See, because a lot of times, you know, we said it in the definition. That's what they want. They want that knee-jerk response. They want to make you mad enough quickly enough or whatever to make you say something. But if you are prepared for, and I know the terminology is not exact, but if you are prepared for the battle before you fight, then there's not really a chance that somebody that's doing something random, which I do, even though I know that some of the people that I'm friends with are being targeted. They've proven it. They know that people are getting together and targeting them and trying to do this. But a lot of trolls are just random. They're bored or whatever else. They're online and so let's go see if I can mess with somebody for a little while.
Yeah.
But if you formulate your response, well, this is what I'm going to do if it's this. You know, like if they tell a little off-color joke or something, that may not bother you as bad. Don't worry about it, right? But if they are immediately disrespectful of you or the things that you believe in, you know, what is your response going to be? How are you, you know, if you do reply, how are you going to reply? You know, because, and I'm just going to use myself as an example. I had somebody come in the other night, and I'm not going to put the organization, and it's not really an organization thing, but they come in and said, do you support so-and-so? And what I said was, what I told you a little earlier, well, honestly, what does it matter to you whether I support them or not? I said, if you support them, then more power to you. I said, but I support good people. And I said, I try to help everybody if at all possible. And I said, I'm not trying to tell you how to be you. I said, I don't want you trying to tell me how to be me. I said, so let's just agree. I'll be me, you be you, and we'll both be happy. And I bet we can still be friends.
Nice.
Right. And she stayed around. She stayed around and talked. She asked respectful questions. She said, well, can I ask you this? Oh, and you know, we didn't throw that out there, but I don't care what social media you're on. If somebody asks you, can I respectfully ask you a question?
That is first red flag.
Yes, they are not about to be in the least bit respectful because, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, whatever, if they were intended to be respectful, they wouldn't have to ask.
Yeah, it's like the same thing. Right? It's like, I hope you don't get offended, but
yeah,
like they're about to say something offensive.
Statement when you're mad at your friends and they go, well, no offense, Bubsy.
Yeah. It's like, you know, I don't hope you take offense to it, but you are going to take offense to it.
Yeah. That's all they're doing. They're laying it out there. So my best piece of advice on how to handle trolls is to be prepared. Make up your mind how you're going to do it. You can choose to interact with them or not. Now, that's kind of what they want.
Now, I will say... So
be ready for that if you do. That's all I'm saying.
Right? I will say, going into the next way to deal with trolls, one of my favorite ways to deal with trolls is either to troll them back or play into them really well.
Well, that could work, but it could also backfire. Like you said, they may have too much fun, and that means they're going to be back, and you're going to have to do it all over again.
Yeah, but here's the thing: they're leaving more comments. They're helping my interaction. Like they're getting laughs out of it, and I'm getting like actual stuff for it. Like,
see, that's the thing, guys. That's the one thing we didn't talk about. If they're trolling your content, if they're coming into your lives and they're making comments, you may not like them, and you don't have to put up with them, right? But they are helping your content move. They're putting it out there for more people to see, and as good as that is on my side, I appreciate it. I do for that part of it, but I wish they would just go find somebody else to hang out with.
Well, like we're posting this one on YouTube. That's one more view. That's however more comments they leave in the comment section. Like, you're just helping. Like, if you don't agree with somebody, especially with the internet, like if there's a way to dislike something, dislike it, leave. If there's not, don't write a comment. You're just helping them, to be honest. Like, just...
Well, I mean, the internet in itself, social media in itself is set up for us to find the things and the people that have the same interest, likes, dislikes, however you want to put it. You can find a quote unquote community about absolutely anything. And if you don't think that's true, Google something absolutely bizarre.
Just look at Reddit.
Be careful. Just be careful what you Google, because you're going to get more information than you want.
Check for tags such as NSFW.
Yeah.
Like,
but I mean, and that's the whole thing. And we're kind of into the closing part of it now, Bubs. Yeah. You know, because I don't have any tried or true ways to handle trolls.
Well, I mean,
you can block them, you can ignore them, you can do whatever.
Yeah.
You know, just be prepared either way. That's all I'll say.
Well, and there's one more. I would say that it's tried and true for what most people say in life anyway, is kill them with kindness.
Yeah. They don't like that very much.
No, But honestly, that's kind of funny too. Like I find that fun to do to people. Like when I'm playing games and someone's complaining about me and just keeps complaining. Like maybe I made a mistake and they just take it to cloud nine, like ha ha. Like they just keep complaining, they're cussing me out, whatever. I'll just go, I love you, bro. I hope you have a great day.
Bubsy, I got something funny to tell you.
What?
A lot of people that come in on the TikTok with me says, why would anybody troll you? You're so nice. You're so calm.
They're jealous of the beard. They're jealous of the beard. That's what it is. Okay.
Well, you know, I'm jealous of the beard. Honestly, I do try to be nice. I do try to be calm. And Bubsy will tell you that I always succeed. Right? I'm not going to keep a straight face at that. But
I can't.
The thing is, Bubsy, you and I, we said this before we made the first podcast.
Right.
We're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. We're not going to, not everybody's going to like what we put out. Not everybody's going to enjoy it. We put it in the context of preparing a meal. And there's different courses, and maybe you'll get something out of this where you don't get something out of that. That's the whole point.
Like, yeah, if we're talking about meal, I don't want coleslaw.
In my estimation, if we make you smile a little bit every once in a while, if we make you think a little bit every once in a while, if maybe just by listening to us to be the chaotic, crazy people that we are, brings you out of your headspace and helps you get through the day, then we've succeeded. Guys, there's maybe somebody in your office that would quote unquote be considered a troll. He may not hide behind his keyboard. Maybe he hides under his desk. I don't know. Right.
I actually know people have hidden under their desk.
But, they may be the kind of person that thinks they're being edgy. They may think they're being funny. They may just think they're being blatantly honest and nobody can handle my honesty. Trust me, brother. People can handle your honesty. They can't handle you being rude. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. They can't handle you being rude.
Yeah.
So you're going to encounter trolls in real life. You're going to encounter trolls on the internet. You're going to encounter trolls everywhere you go. See, they even have a new name for them out in the public. Bubs, did you know that?
What?
They call them Karens and Kens.
See, I've not heard the Kens. I was thinking more along the lines of like a Chadwick.
Yeah, well, it's just Karen and Ken, and they're trying to, again, doing what trolls do.
But
they're
yes,
forcing
Karens.
their way into something they don't need to.
Oh,
right?
I love watching Karens getting owned compilations on YouTube.
Yeah, it's all right. So I guess what we're trying to tell you is this. You're going to run into that kind of stuff. At least I'm trying to tell you that you're going to run into this stuff everywhere you go.
Yeah.
And if you're what's considered a nice guy or a nice person, just prepare and I don't want to use the word argument, but just prepare your responses in advance. If somebody's meaner to you or rude to you, don't let them decide who you are and who you're going to be.
Correct.
Be prepared to say something, but maybe not the something that they expect. Maybe they've already got nastiness everywhere else and they're trying to spread the nastiness to you. Let them see a different stop it right there. Because you can lock a bully up. You can lock a troll up with the right response, and they're just kind of,
of course, this isn't for most people. How many people, when they think something may lead to an argument, how many people think through the argument before they actually start it? Okay, if you deviate from somebody's script, you're going to lock them up. They're like, I didn't prepare for that one.
Yeah. They're not prepared, and that's kind of what we're talking about when it comes to this.
That's why most people get trolled, is because they're ill prepared.
Yeah, I have a few responses that I use, and like I said, with specifically the young lady the other night, she goes, "I can respect that," and she hung around, she talked, and I don't have a problem answering any question. Now, there's certain information about myself I ain't gonna answer. Nobody needs to know me that well on the internet. I'm just saying. Right. But I don't have a problem answering any question. I love a good conversation. Ask Bubsy. I like a good argument.
He likes to talk, just in general, likes to talk.
I mean, I talk in my sleep, y'all. I mean, I've recorded my own eulogy so I could talk at my own funeral. Y'all got to understand. Right. So just be prepared, and just be prepared as if you didn't know already that there's people out there that for whatever reason are going to try to ruin the moment. They're going to try to ruin the day, in my opinion. Some of them unintentionally. I have to give credit to Bubsy's definition. I understand where he's coming from. But when they come in and they don't really know the situation, they could ruin the situation just by trying to be flippant when they don't really know what's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I'm saying when you come in, just get to know the situation before you do it. If it's whatever, throw a silly joke and move on. I have no problem with that. That's not trolling to me. I mean, but anyway. So, ladies and gentlemen, I say this every episode. I appreciate it if you've made it this far. We're glad you're here with us. We're glad you're hanging out with us. We would love to hear your feedback. We would love to hear what you have to say. We would love any ideas on what you think the chaotic duo here you'd like to hear us talk about. Maybe you'd like, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But if this is your first time or it's your third time or your fourth time, let me say this again until the next time. Welcome to the family.
And then hit us with your socials because we're about to close out, my friend.
Oh, socials. BR549. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry. It is the Caffeinated Beard on Instagram and TikTok. TikTok is the easiest place to find me most of the time. It is Caffeinated Beard with CAFFEIN, the number 8, TED Beard. For whatever reason, Snapchat wouldn't let me put my whole name in there, but it's Caffeinated Beard on there. But again, check us out on TikTok. Check out the videos for the auction. I'll say that one more time. Share them, comment on them, get them out there, let everybody see them. And we appreciate everything that you all do on that front. And just let us know what you'd like to hear. What about you, Bubsy?
Well, I at least I have a much shorter name, so mine usually comes out very simple. They wouldn't let me just have Bubsy anywhere, but I did get It's Bubsy, so that's ITSBUBBZI. That's Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch. YouTube is Bubsy. I was the only one I was actually able to get my name. So you want to check us out, we have content in other places. Like I said, this podcast will be the first one on YouTube. The page is probably going to be just the Caffeinated podcast, as well as if we find any funny clips from this, we're also going to start posting those on TikTok. We also have the TikTok page, the Caffeinated podcast. And any links to that, if we do post anything, will be in the description, and we'll make sure that you guys are well aware of that. And as we mentioned earlier, we're going to have the link to the auction. Check that out. Do you have the time and date for that?
The auctions are July the 22nd and 24th because we had such a big group. We split it up into 2 different days, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's going to be on TikTok Live. And I believe, if I remember correctly, that K_Davis109 will be the page that is hosting the one on Thursday night. And then we will also be giving out the one for the one Saturday night in the live to make sure that everybody has it then as well.
Okay. Yep, that should be all the housekeeping, I think. This has been the Caffeinated Podcast.
Peace.
And love.